Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Saturday, November 4th, 2023. We're at the north side of Polderbaan for some pre-rain arrivals this morning and early afternoon. It's going to be exciting in the sense that the rain is expected to arrive over here around the time of the arrival of the A380. I am in dry weather configuration. Going to hope that we are going to get through the stream and see the landing of the A380 without getting significantly wet. The first airplane of the day, Delta A330, they're flying back to Amsterdam again, luckily. Arriving from Minneapolis. At the moment, still 2 runways open in the ticker. I already adjusted it to the runway usage I'm expecting will become effective shortly. As I was setting up, the bird controller showed all the tricks in the book over here, chasing away the birds in preparation, I think, of this runway becoming the only runway used for arrival shortly. Oh, I was wrong. I was zoomed out too far. This was a different Delta A330. The one arriving from Minneapolis is coming right now. Apologies, still early. This is Delta Airlines flight 162. Airbus A330-300 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Flight time 7 hours and 29 minutes as we speak. This particular airplane is 16 years old. Let me fixate the tripod. We are having a little bit of wind. It's not very windy. The wind is from the southeast at the moment, just a little bit east of directly from the south. This airplane is 16 years old. First flight was in July 2007. Warm welcome to all the viewers who have joined us in the meantime. Hope everybody is doing well. The weekend has begun for most people. And would you look at that? The sun is even trying to get out from behind the clouds, shining light on this A330. So if the airplanes are crabbing today, they are leaning to the left a little bit. I'm going to do a little quick adjustment to my panhandle. 1 notch lower, I think, will make for better movement. Right, looks like after the next airplane we might have a few minutes before the next traffic arrives, and I will brief you then. The next airplane to arrive is going to be a Dreamliner from Air Europa arriving from Madrid, a Boeing 7879. Flight 1091. This flight has taken 1 hour and 52 minutes so far. This airplane, now nicely illuminated by the sun, is 4 years old, had its first flight in April 2019. Happy New Year, folks. The culprit of the noise we're hearing. So, big overview. It is mostly overcast, but there are some openings here and there. This is looking to the south. This is currently looking to the west. Picture looking to the east. And let's focus the camera back to the north so that we can see the next airplane when it gets here. The next airplane should be an EasyJet A320 arriving from Bristol. It's going to be a battle against the rain that is expected to arrive later today. It is over here. This is the past hour. It is slowly getting here. 3-hour extrapolation until approximately 12 o'clock shows that it is going to get close by. So we might get a few droplets before the A380 lands. At the moment, the current status quo, let me update the METAR. You can see the wind is mostly from the south, a little bit from the east. Not too hard, just over 10 knots. We have few clouds at 1,000 feet and broken clouds at 1,700 feet. Temperature is 9 degrees Celsius. The pressure is dropping. Wind speed, well, stable, not too hard. Runway usage, well, it still says 2 runways being used for arrivals. We are currently standing right here. Cargbaan being used for departures. We're not going to see any 747s in this stream, unfortunately, unless there are 747s going to Amsterdam from nearby airports such as in France or in Germany. These two are going to arrive later in the day. 3:43 p.m. This one 2:30 p.m. The Emirates A380. I'm very curious to see if it is actually going to be in the Journey to the Future livery. Is expected around 12:20. So I hope we can stick out until it arrives. Time will tell. For now, the upcoming hours we should be good. And very good morning once again to everybody who has joined. Hope everybody is doing all right. We should be having a lovely morning here until the rain arrives. Got a couple of airplanes on the glide slope already. Let's see, the number 2 is visible over there. And if I recall correctly, number 3 should become visible when the clouds allow it, somewhere over there. For now, this is the number 1 airplane to focus on. EasyJet A320 arriving from Bristol. Flight time 49 minutes. It's an 11-year-old airplane. Right, next up is going to be LOT, an Embraer 195, flight 265, arriving from Warsaw. Yesterday we saw a special livery edition. Today it looks like the standard livery is coming this way. And another heavy will be following it. Air Canada Flight 808, Dreamliner, which I am not yet seeing. Photo bomb by bird control. A bird control van actually. But it does say so on the tin, bird control. H1. A vehicle you don't see every day. Mostly the pickup trucks over here. And here's the Air Canada Dreamliner. And yeah, that's the only airplane visible right now, unfortunately. Visibility to the north not that great at the moment. Hopefully it is going to open up a little bit later. Hey there Sue, good morning. Ricardo, goedemorgen. Good morning to all other folks who are already in the chat. Hope everybody is doing well. Right now there's no more traffic going to the centered runway if you look on flight radar, so LVNL that just now still showed parallel arrivals taking place, always a little bit behind. Air Canada Flight 808 arriving from Toronto. Goedemorgen, Vinnie, goedemorgen. Jarno, goedemorgen. Ciao Luca, come stai? Benvenuto. RDW, goedemorgen. And Leroy is informing us that the Surinam A340 is expected in 30 minutes. Excellent. Arriving from Paramaribo, should be landing on this runway, even if a second runway would open up. Boeing 737-800 from KLM arriving from Athens up next. KLM flight 1572. Flight time 3 hours and 4 minutes. The airplane is 12 years old. First flight was in May 2011. You can even see some vortices from the tips of the flaps. Beautiful. Wind does seem to be picking up just a little bit. The pilots also seem to be doing quite a few corrections in that last couple of 100 meters to the runway. Got a couple of narrow bodies coming up next. First up is a Vueling A320 followed by an SAS CRJ. Still trying to see if we can see a second airplane, but doesn't look like visibility allows us to. So we'll have to make do with what we can see, and this is Vueling flight 8365 arriving from Malaga. It's an A320, has been flying now for 2 hours and 28 minutes. The airplane is 10 years old. Its first flight was in May of the year 2013. Now, Captain or Adjutant Infantry Adi, thank you so much for your continued support. Congratulations on 2 months of AMS Live membership. Captain Eddie Boss writes, Amsterdam, it's my dream, boy, I love it. Well, there's much to love over here, so we cannot blame you for that. Thank you so much for your continued support. Hope that you are going to stay a member for many more months to come. Thank you for now. Captain Eddie Bush. I still keep calling you Captain Eddie Bush because that was your name for such a long time. You keep changing it so regularly. But for me, you'll always be Captain Eddie Bush. I tried without the gloves on, but I am now putting them on. Definitely with the wind exposure here, a little bit chilly. Right, let us turn back the camera. CRJ SAS arriving from Copenhagen up next. Again, nice VORTICES. Tiger74 just became a member. Thank you so much, Tiger. You were a member already, weren't you? Just renewed your membership probably. Thank you so much for your continued support, Tiger. Vielen Dank. Thank you so much. Now, let me quickly go back because we have something nice coming next. A 777 arriving from Aguadilla. Emirates Sky Cargo, flight 9914, 777 freighter. Flight time 7 hours and 31 minutes, and this airplane 10 years old, first flight December 2012. Hey T-Mac, good morning. Beautiful vortices emanating from the flaps. Yeah, and I'm not happy with the setup. Let's try that again. Also, the gloves just don't give the tactical feedback necessary to make the following smooth. So let's try without again. Next up is a Boeing 737-700 from SAS arriving from Oslo. SAS flight 821. Flight time 1 hour and 24 minutes. The airplane is 16 years old. Its first flight was in June 2007. Meanwhile, K1 is standing right over here, making some noise, really close by. So Happy New Year once again, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, Evan, top of the morning. Good morning. And absolutely still waiting for a weekend of dry weather to do that stone cutting. So far, rain has been expected on all days. Might have to wait until spring if it keeps going like this, actually. But we'll see. It's not like it is weather to be sitting outside in the garden in the sun reading a book when I have nothing to do, so it is okay, but it is still something that needs to be done. This is Welling arriving from Bilbao, flight 8354. It's an A320, has been flying for 1 hour and 34 minutes to get here. The airplane is 16 years old. Hey Leen, goedemorgen. Blackburst, good morning. Gosse, goedemorgen kerel. Right, let's quickly turn back. A330neo coming up from Delta, arriving from Salt Lake City. Once more going to make a slight adjustment to the pen handle. It's been a while since I last been here for longer than 45 minutes, I should say. Trying to find the best setting for following the airplanes. Nice vortices you can see emanating from the tips of the flaps. Delta Airlines flight 56, A330neo, flight time 9 hours and 8 minutes to get here from Salt Lake City. It's a year old, had its first flight in July of the year 2022. referring to Delta has stopped flying here. Well, yesterday I was standing here and we didn't see any Deltas. But that had to do with all flights being cancelled due to Storm Kieran that we had the day before yesterday. So they did not fly to Amsterdam yesterday. Hence, we didn't see any arrivals from Delta yet in yesterday's stream. So that is why I was remarking that I'm happy to see that they are returning. They have continued their flights to Amsterdam. But yesterday, no flights came in, and that had to do with the storm we had the day before yesterday. Hey Daniel, goedemorgen. Doing well. Thank you for asking. I hope the same goes for you, buddy. We're waiting for the next airplane, which should arrive shortly. An A319 from EasyJet arriving from Southend. Oh wait, I do see the light now. Yes. I've seen the light. There it is. Vaguely becoming visible. Unfortunately, no two airplanes still visible, just one, the nearest by. Ah, happy to hear that, Daniel. So this is an A319 arriving from Southend, short flight, 37 minutes. The airplane, Austrian registration, so it's an Alpine on the radio. 14 years old, first flight January 2009. Behind it, we are expecting an A320 from Finnair arriving from Helsinki, and behind that we are going to see a Dreamliner from American arriving from Philadelphia. Hey Infinity, goedemorgen. Stefan, goedemorgen. Zeker lekker aan het spotten, absolutely. Enjoying the brief moment of no rain. Behind the Dreamliner from American is a Dreamliner from TUI arriving from Curaçao. So not a double triple, but a double dreamy? What would be an appropriate term for that? Looks like the Polderbaan is upward sloping a little bit if you look at the lights. I also have some stripes on my screen and it looks like it is moving up just a little bit. An uphill battle. Thanks for the update, Han. The Surinam A340 is coming this way in the vicinity of The Hague. Now, not very hopeful that we are going to see it on its downwind leg passing us by shortly. We already have trouble seeing the second airplane on the glide slope as it is. This is Finnair flight 1301, A320 arriving from Helsinki, Finland. Flight time 2 hours and 8 minutes, which is par for the course. Finland, no. Helsinki is approximately 2 hours of flying away, normally speaking. This airplane is relatively old, 22 years old already. First flight was in July 2001. and Japanese characters. Thank you so much for your kind words. Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. Leonid, privet. Indeed, Drew. What the Helsinki? All right. Now it is time for the Dreamliners. First up is American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia. It's a 7878, the smallest of the family. 6 hours and 15 minutes to get here from Philadelphia so far. The airplane is 8 years old. Its first flight March 2015. Behind it is going to be another 7878 from TUI arriving from Curaçao. Have a look at the flex of the wings and what happens when those spoilers go up. Bloop! Down they go. Now, the Surinam A340. It is passing west of me. I am looking. Would be nice if we could catch a glimpse of it already on the downwind leg, but I am not seeing it as I feared. So let's focus on the Dreamliner then. This is TUI Flight 370 arriving from Curaçao. Flight time 8 hours 22 minutes as we speak. Flight 370. The airplane is 8 years old. Its first flight was in November 2014. And it is another 7878. Nice to see the corrections on the flaperons directly behind the engines, between the two biggest flap surfaces. Right, next up A320 arriving from London Gatwick, Speedbird. And let's zoom out just a little. I'm not making out any other airplanes behind it. There should be a Lufthansa A319 arriving from Frankfurt. I am hoping we might get to see more airplanes in the same shot. They should. Oh wait, now we do. Yes, finally, glide slope shot. The first glide slope shot of the show. Howdy Niels, goedemorgen, good morning. 68 Twig, Madeira Aviation Spotting, good morning. This is Speedbird flight 2540 A320 arriving from London Gatwick. Has taken this airplane thus far 41 minutes to get here. It's a 21-year-old airplane. Began flying in October of the year 2002. Standing here like this, I do get the impression that the wind is picking up just a little bit. Maybe after the A340 we have a few moments to have another look at the status quo, the weather, the METAR particularly I'm curious about. Right now we're not going to do that. Keep our eyes on the prize. A319 arriving from Lufthansa with the Lu sticker. Okay. Yesterday we already had the Lu in the show. Now it is another Lu. And looking in the far left, I see 4 engines. That would be Surinam Airways. The A340 arriving from Paramaribo. This is Lufthansa flight 988 arriving from Frankfurt. Flight time of 50 minutes. The airplane is 26 years old. Trying to get a good shot of the Lu, but it seems like just the Lufthansa logo is a bit different on this airplane. I'm doing very well, thank you for asking, Singapore Airlines Dallas. Hope the same goes for you. I am getting a little bit cold hands. I did try filming with the gloves on, but you just missed the tactile feedback to get somewhat decent following of the airplanes. So, still standing here barehanded. That's the only downside. Here we have Surinam Airways flight 994 arriving from Paramaribo. It's an A340-300. It's been flying now for 8 hours and 15 minutes to get here, and it has been flying in total now for 15 years. The first flight of this airplane was in April 2008, which actually makes it 4 months younger, younger than the PHBVA Orange Pride and Choc-y. We have its sibling following in its wake, Delta Airlines arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, which is an A330-300. 5 APUs and 4 gears. Nice to see that all the reversers have been repaired. There was a time where the right inner reverser would not deploy. Hey Rick, goedemorgen kerel. Alles goed in het noorden? Under the weather. Well, I'm also under the weather right now. The weather that I'm under is cloudy and a bit windy, but I'm pretty sure that's not what you meant. Rick, you're no longer at an age where you can party hard on a Friday and still wake up fresh on a Saturday, huh? Don't forget, you're getting older too. This is Delta Airlines Flight 74, Airbus A330, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Flight time thus far, 7 hours 42 minutes. The airplane is 20 years old. Its first flight was in August 2003. Behind it is a 777-200 from KLM, arriving from New York, JFK. Can we see that already? Vaguely in the center. Visibility to the north seems to be opening up slightly, allowing for something that you might call a glide slope shot. Happy New Year! Again, New Year's Eve over here. I've lost track now. What year are we in? Must be the third Happy New Year we've been having here. Here's your perpetrator. And thank you so much, JD, for gifting 5 AMS Live memberships just now. If you just got gifted a membership by JD, don't forget to say thank you. JD, thank you so much for your support. And welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those 5 new AMS Live members. Let's quickly turn back. KLM Flight 644 is approaching, arriving from New York, JFK. This is a 777-200 ER. The flight duration 6 hours and 10 minutes as we speak. The airplane itself has been flying now for 19 years, since September 2004. And Austrian Wolf says that the loose sticker is the Lufthansa mascot. Okay. Does KLM also have a mascot? I'm wondering. And if they don't, shouldn't they also get one if Lufthansa has one? Mark asks if I can say hi to Davey. Davey, good morning. Hope you're enjoying the show, mate. And also say hi to Mark. Right, well, let's have a look. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, members, get your playtime emojis ready. That is going to be the next airplane. Although not yet visible, it is an A320neo arriving from Reykjavik that is coming next. On the gloves once again. I'm going to give it another go. I'm not sure that I am photogenic enough to become a mascot, Rick. Nice suggestion though, but maybe. Jendrosek says the name of the KLM mascot is Bluey. Never heard of that before. Alright, it is slowly becoming visible. Play flight 460 A320neo arriving from Reykjavik. Oh, not the best of visibility, as you guys can see. But it is definitely playtime now. Flight 460. Flight time from Reykjavik to Amsterdam thus far has taken this airplane 2 hours and 35 minutes. Hadi Klaas, goedemorgen. Chinezen. Are you going to have Chinese dinner already before lunchtime? Alright, we do also see the light of the second airplane behind the play, which is an A320 from Lufthansa arriving from Munich. The number 3 is going to be a 777-300ER from KLM arriving from Johannesburg. Hey Tiriliri, good morning, good to see you. Right, playtime. And after playtime, Lufthansa time. And after Lufthansa time, KLM time. Behind the 777-300 is a Dreamliner 10 arriving from Cartagena. So 2 narrow bodies followed by 2 wide bodies. That was not too bad. Peter is asking about the closure for maintenance of the Polderbaan. That is expected to commence on Monday. So from the 6th until the 15th, if I recall correctly. Have a look at omgevingsinfo, bezoek Bas, where you can also find the planning for maintenance of the runways in 2024. It's going to be 1.5 weeks as of Monday, if I recall correctly. I think it was Monday is the 6th, right? And it should be from Monday until next week Wednesday or so. So this is Lufthansa flight 2302 arriving from Munich, the south of Germany. Flight time 1 hour and 7 minutes. It's an A320 that is 10 years old, had its first flight in February of the year 2013. Hey Lena, goedemorgen. Elias, good morning. Alrighty, time for some more heavies. It is a 777 up first. Can we see the Dreamliner behind it already? Not yet. Do hear a fire engine. So you might pick up on that if it re-enables the siren. Alright, KLM Flight 592 arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa, 777-300ER, flight time 10 hours and 45 minutes, 14-year-old airplane, had its first flight in May 2009. 46, beautiful. Beautiful 46. Hey there, Steve 88. Good morning, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Nestor, good morning. Nestor is tuning in all the way from Abkhazia. I think you might be the first viewer we've had from that location. Very awesome. Very welcome to the show. Hope you're liking it here. Of course, that goes to all the viewers. It's all about having fun and having a good time here. And having a good time is certainly something we will get with the next airplane coming up, a 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena, KLM Flight 741. In its wake, Delta A350, Rick's favorite plane. This is a Dreamliner 10 arriving from Cartagena. Has been flying now for 8 hours and 47 minutes to get here. A 4-year-old airplane that had its first flight in November 2019. Alrighty, next up, Delta Airlines Flight 136, Airbus A350-900, arrival from Detroit, Michigan. Airplane has taken 6 hours and 48 minutes to get here. It's a 4-year-old airplane that had its first flight in December 2018. En Sanson says, good morning, groetjes van Ria. Hoi Ria, goedemorgen. Groetjes terug. Peter Jansen is watching from Australia. Good evening, buddy. Welcome to the show. Looks like after the A350 we'll be seeing a couple of Embraers, a Tarom 737-700. Croatia Airlines is also arriving with an A320. Die Wietse. Okay, big fire in New Vennep. That might explain why we saw the fire engine with the sirens going south just now. Where is the big fire? Is it in a residential area or business area? I always pass by the village of New Vennep on my way home and on my way over here. A friend is tuning in from Papua New Guinea. Even further away, I think. Not as far away as Maria though. Down under in Kiwi land. For the time being, a lot of fireworks and some openings in the sky. Bird control is definitely working hard today to chase away birds with fireworks. We've been hearing the bangs all the while. Hey there, Miss Wolves, good morning, good to see you again, hope all is well. Right, this tree in the middle protruding a little bit is a very handy visual reference to point the camera back to the next upcoming airplane, standing here. Servus Peppi, tuning in from Innsbruck. Ich glaube, es gibt schon Neuschnee oben in die Berge, nicht wahr? I think I saw it on the webcams. Was also on the news yesterday. Kaproon, 2400 meters, was already white. Snow season is coming, which I'm very happy about. Two Embraer 175s from KLM coming up next. The first one is KLM flight 1352 arriving from Prague, the Czech Republic. The airplane you're now looking at has taken an hour and 15 minutes to get here and has been flying now for 6 years, since January 2017. Apologies if the footage is sometimes a little uneven. I have resorted to putting on my heated gloves, and even though they are relatively thin, they're liners, they do reduce the tactical feedback I get from pushing buttons and holding my rubber band to pan and tilt. I'm still struggling to find a groove that works for me. So I sometimes miss the zoom rocker, or my finger slides off. The glove is a bit slippery. Next Embraer 175 from KLM is arriving from Zurich. KLM flight 1954. Also a flight time of an hour and 15 minutes. The other airplane also had approximately the same flight time. 6 years old, this one. First flight July 2017. Wasn't the other one also 6 years old? I think it was. And after this airplane we should see a Tarom 737 arriving from Bucharest, 737-700. Stubby plane, relatively big tail. Tall, I should say. Alrighty, next up, Boeing 737-700. Tarom arriving from Bucharest. Sky Team livery. And it has a white nose. Right, we're going to see an entire slew of narrow bodies now back to back. First up is going to be Croatia Airlines arriving from Zagreb. Airbus A320, Star Alliance livery, flight time of 1 hour and 45 minutes. The airplane is 19 years old. First flight was in February 2004. Hey there, Big Al. Good morning, Alan. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Alrighty, next up, Air France. Flight 1340, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. However, another fire truck moving south, so there has to be a big fire over there in New-Vennep right now. Not an Airbus coming this way. Well, yeah, an Airbus A220, but originally Bombardier. Most often when we see this airplane type, it is Air Baltic, but now Air France is flying its flight over here from Paris. 46 minutes of flight time. The airplane 2 years old. Time for more Airbuses. Two airplanes arriving from London. In the first place is an A320 from British Airways flight 430 arriving from London Heathrow. Behind it is an A319 from EasyJet arriving from London Gatwick. And another EasyJet A319 is number 3. Arriving from Birmingham, not from London. Alrighty. Die Danny, goedemorgen, good morning. Next up is EasyJet A319 arriving from London Gatwick. Flight 28673, Austrian registered, another Alpine, 17 years old, first flight May 2006, flight time 44 minutes, which is nominal for London to Amsterdam. Hey there Danny, good morning, good to see you again, hope all is well. Might have a little opening between traffic after the next two airplanes. So let's have another look at the meter then. Very curious to see where the rain is at the moment. It is definitely not nearby yet. We should see rain around the arrival time of the A380 today. At least that's what the radar said earlier in the morning. We'll also have a look after this airplane has landed at all the other stuff. First up, EasyJet flight 27850, Airbus A319, arriving from Birmingham, flight time 51 minutes, the airplane 15 years old, first flight February 2008. Also approaching Air Malta A320neo, arriving from Malta, and another KLM 737 that is arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Alrighty, now let's have a look at the status quo. The weather situation. First of all, let's refresh the radar. This is the past hour. Rain slowly moving in from the south. The 3-hour extrapolation shows, yeah, just around the time of the arrival of the Emirates A380 it should begin raining. Now we are a bit more northerly, so maybe it's more 12:30. Last time we checked, the A380 was a little ahead and was expected to arrive around 12:20. Wind direction hasn't changed significantly, still mostly south, so headwind for the pilot's landing, 15 knot wind. Also the cloudiness has not changed significantly. Runway usage, now of course the normal configuration. The A380 is entering Hungarian airspace. It has made up some time. Last time we checked it was 12:20. In the very beginning it was 12:30, so it is making up some time. The picture and the description say Journey to the Future livery. I'm very curious to see if that is going to be the case. We have seen announcements of the Journey to the Future livery and it was a standard livery, but it would be nice to see if maybe this time round it is actually the Journey to the Future livery. For now, we'll have to wait and see. Right, back to the laptop it is. JD, thank you so much for another 5 gifted AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much for that, JD. You really shouldn't have, but I appreciate it very much nonetheless. Very warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those 5 new members. And don't forget to say thank you to JD if you just got gifted a membership by JD. Thank you so much and welcome the new members. I was just getting up. I have to go back now to the laptop. Good morning, Jerry. First of all, hope you're doing well, mate. And also, Jerry, Mr. Donnelly himself, thank you so much for another 5 gifted memberships. Don't forget to thank Jerry if you just got gifted a membership by him. Thank you so much once again, Jerry, for your gifted memberships, and welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, the new members. Now, it keeps going on, man. Tiger, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships just now. 10 memberships, 10 new members. If you just got gifted a membership by Tiger, don't forget to say thank you. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, everybody who just got given a membership. Don't forget to thank the donator. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you so much. Let me quickly go back to the camera for the Air Malta A320neo arriving from Malta. Air Malta flight 394 this was, with a flight time of 3 hours and 12 minutes now, setting foot on Dutch soil. This is a 3-year-old airplane that began flying in the year 2020. Hey there, Tony, good morning. If you're hearing noises of predator birds, if you're such a keen bird fan that you recognize this as being predator bird sounds, it is because K4 is now also here working hard to chase away birds, which I actually haven't seen that many of today over here. So they are doing their job well, I think. Our next airplane is KLM flight 1224 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, Boeing 737-800. Flight time from Paris to Amsterdam thus far 42 minutes. The airplane is 15 years old. It had its first flight in December of the year 2007. And hey there, Annette. Good evening. And Brian, Sunil, both of you, good day. Welcome to the show. Oh, retro KLM livery. What's that you're talking about, Rick? Let's see. Oh yeah, the previous iteration of the KLM standard livery with the straight line separation between the white and blue. Absolutely, it is coming. Not before this Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich has landed. This is KLM flight 1516. We're now looking at an Embraer 175. Flight time 31 minutes. A 7-year-old airplane that had its first flight in May 2016. Right, time to also put the hoodie over my hat. With the wind over here, it is actually quite chilly. Right, well, if you guys like Embraers, you're in for a treat. After an intermezzo of a KLM 737, you are going to see another one. Same here, Rick, same here. Runny nose, cold hands. Well, Frank, I already did the hoodie back down because I think it is also affecting the voiceover audio, probably amplifying it. I am switching back and forth between gloves on, gloves off. Still not happy with following with the gloves on, but then again, at some point you might have to get used to it. You're missing the feeling that you're having when operating the camera barehandedly. This is the previous iteration of the standard livery from KLM. You can see the straight line on the nose running back to the tail. It's subtle, but you see it, it is noticeable. Going Hollywood, voila, absolutely. Right, well, we have a little bit of sun poking its nose between the more denser clouds. Overall, it is still overcast. The water over here, the same as more downstream or upstream, depending on the way you look at it. The ducks seem to have gone. I did see them further out around the corner, north of me that is, so actually more to the vicinity of the road that is passing in front where this white van is driving. So they are definitely still alive and around. Looking at flight radar, we're also going to see a Turkish A330 soon. Right now this is KLM flight 986 arriving from London City, an Embraer 190 that has taken 39 minutes to get here so far. A 14-year-old airplane that had its first flight in September 2009. Photo bomb moment from K4. Speeding off to the south. Now, is the Portaloo still standing? Hard to see from over here. We are about 2 kilometers more to the north than the other location normally. I'm seeing that Turkish A330 is approaching the glide slope on a short stint, so maybe can we catch it? Gotta catch them all. Definitely trying to catch this one. You can see there are openings of blue sky, so that is why I'm looking to see if maybe we can spot the A330 already. Trouble is, I don't know exactly how high above the horizon I need to look, so I'm keeping a bit wider field of view. Hopefully see some movement. Now, where this tree is protruding is where the glide slope is at, so that is where it eventually has to end up. Indeed, Jerry, this is very much glide slope Pokemon. Still not see. Oh wait, there it is. Where's that? Huh? No, that's an airplane going to... Oh wait, shoot, they've opened up center. So we did manage to find the A330, but it is going to the center runway. It has opened. It's going to be the first airplane to land on center, it seems like. Ah, sneaky mother. Right, well, let's have a look then. The next airplane to come this way. Oh, we have to make do with the 737s. Austrian Wolf, thank you so much for joining, mate. Hopefully see you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Right. Hey. Now, pleasant surprise. I'm hearing something, and we're going to get an extra close-up today. Firefighters will make a pass-by here closer than they normally do when standing on the other side. Are they going to sound the horn particularly for us? Oh, they're going to run into the bird controller. Oh, it's parked strategically so that they can pass. Turkish A330, unfortunately, going to center. Let's see how they do that. You can clearly see that there's an exit right off this road where the fire trucks are on right now. They are so wide, they are occupying the entire width of the piece of tarmac over there. You can clearly see that from this point of view. Hey Marissa, good morning. If you tuned in just now, you were just in time for the close by passage of the fire trucks, indeed. They only just fit on that strip of asphalt, actually. Right, well, so we did manage to find the Turkish A330. Unfortunately, it was headed to the wrong runway. Now, with this airplane, we should be more lucky. A737-800 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. How many is that already? I saw that too, Brian. The second truck was warming its tires, just like the Formula 1, going left to right. Right, well, what the Helsinki? The Dreamliner arriving from Panama City is also seems to be going to the center runway. Why are they sending that Dreamliner that is arriving from the west to the center runway? Indeed, Chunky, they are trolling over there in the tower. Well, Qatar 777 arriving from Doha, going to center. Right, let's quickly pan back to the airplane coming this way, which is an EasyJet A320neo arriving from Geneva, flight 27866. Has a flight time of 1 hour and 17 minutes. It's brand new. We'll be celebrating its first birthday in December this year. Started flying last December. Well, looks like there is another Dreamliner arriving from Curaçao, from TUI. Let's see to which runway it is going to go. And also let's see if we can find that Dreamliner arriving from Panama City. Just came out of the clouds. Still a little bit in between them. KLM flight 758, 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Panama City. Current flight time 9 hours and 25 minutes. A 7-year-old airplane that had its first flight in June 2016. And thank you for the confirmation, Marissa, that TUI is indeed coming to this runway. So soon we'll have our own Dreamliner to look at up close. Although it is a bit smaller than this one. This side view beautifully illustrates the flex. Now, granted, we are looking a little bit from below, of course, but you can definitely see how much the wing is also curved upward. Wouldn't be surprised if the wingtip actually is higher than the top of the main fuselage. Hey there, Kevin, good morning. Harry, good morning. Harry asks about the weather. Well, at the moment it is still dry. We are expecting an area of rain, which should arrive on this part, in this part of the Netherlands, roughly around the time the A380 is expected, between 12 and 12:30. As you can see, it is mostly overcast right now. The wind is blowing just a little bit east of directly south. And the temperature is in the single digits Celsius. Last time I checked it was 8. Now, is that actually Russell? I think it might be, or it is Cheryl. My only companion out here. Normally, on weekend days it is crowded at Schiphol whenever it isn't raining. However, this is a relatively quiet place. Oh, let me fix that. Almost tripped over the power supply wire from my camera that I thought I had tucked more tightly so that it was off the ground, but it was actually on the ground, so pulling it a little bit. Right. Shouldn't be able to trip over wires anymore. Alright. Now, the TUI Dreamliner is on the glide slope already. Not seeing it yet. Haven't seen the light. Wait a minute. Was focusing on the wrong protrusion. It's the tree in the middle that you need to look at for the glide slope over here. Now, Jerry, thank you so much for your super chat. Really, you shouldn't have to, but thank you nonetheless. Very much appreciated, obviously. Jerry writes, do the landing jets usually have all the running lights on in this weather? Those lights are for flying at high altitude. AMS sea level height, AMS actually below sea level height a couple of meters. The western half of the Netherlands would go underwater if the dikes, well, if the sea level were to rise. I'm not sure what is mandatory or not. You do see them turn on lights. We also saw landings of heavies that didn't turn on all the lights only shortly before touching down. I'm not sure if that is mandatory over here or if it is company policy per operator that they decide what they turn on and not. But these are the landing lights. They are almost always on. Well, almost always. We also have seen some defective lights where only 2 were shining. Brian says it's 28 degrees here in Minnesota, and Christoph says I'm jealous. Well, Christoph, it depends. If Brian is talking about Fahrenheit, then it is below 0 Celsius, so be careful what you wish for. Marissa informing us that the A350 Corendon wet lease is arriving in about 20 minutes. That is nice. It did take off, was it yesterday for the first time? So we're going to see it arrive today. This is TUI flight 391, or at least we might see it if it doesn't get directed to the center runway. TUI flight 391 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao, flight time 8 hours 25 minutes, Belgian registration. This Dreamliner is 9 years old. Nico is asking about the A380. If runway usage adheres to the normal times, if ATC isn't switching things up, we are very likely going to see the A380 land on this very runway. It's expected around 12:15, and it is very likely going to land on this runway then, because by then this is most likely going to be the only runway open. We will recognize the beautiful Azzurro immediately. ITA Airways A320neo arriving from Rome. There's also an E2 Embraer 195 following it. Hey Nicholas, morning! It's the only time that Nicholas is able to catch the live stream. Coffee and a bacon sandwich. That sounds good. Although in my case it would have to be vegetarian bacon, of course, but still. Good to see you again, Nicholas. It's been a while, got the feeling. Not sure when the last time was that I saw you in the chat, but to me it feels like a while back. Mats, thank you for the updates. Mats is informing us that there is a SkyTeam 777 coming soon, and also a banana. Now, there's also a JetBlue A321neo on the glide slope as we speak, arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. So, let's head over to the north again with the camera soon. Hadi Pieter, goedemorgen. Indeed, lovely weather. Well, at least it's dry. That counts for something. Alrighty, we have the protruding tree once again set up as our frame of reference or as our beacon. Our next airplane should be the JetBlue A321neo arriving from Boston, Massachusetts, flight 631, which is brand new and actually started flying in September this year, so very much under warranty still. Brian has to go back to studying. It was a pleasure to have you on the stream, Brian. Good luck studying. Hope to catch you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day and weekend. And Marcel, it is not actually very cold, but I am very susceptible to getting cold hands quickly. That's the only weak spot in my genetic uptake, as far as I can tell. Getting cold hands quickly. So other than that, if you dress warmly, it is very much doable still. The wind, of course, is a bit chilly, but when you have a parka on, it really blocks the wind very adequately. Good news, I see more heavies on flight radar. Got a Dreamliner arriving from LAX from KLM. Got an A330 arriving from Bonaire, also from KLM. They are coming. Alrighty, JetBlue A321neo arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. Flying now for 6 hours and 23 minutes. The airplane, as I said, brand new. Began flying in September this year. I wonder if the first trip to Amsterdam was its inaugural flight. Floaty, very floaty. All right. Now, the next airplane is from KLM Embraer 190 arriving from Bristol. The Dreamliner should be behind it somewhere. Should be a little left and a little lower when it does become visible. In the meantime, in the foreground, the Embraer 190 KLM flight 1050 arriving from Bristol. Flown on a German Airways airplane, standard livery, 53 minutes of flight time. Still looking out for that Dreamliner to appear from the clouds, but I'm not seeing it yet. Visibility a bit of a letdown, at least visibility to the north this morning. Oh wait, bottom left, you can see the lights, only just. Anyway, We'll see it more clearly soon enough. The airplane we're now looking at, also as old as the Orange Pride and Choc-y, 15 years, first flight January 2008. Hey, Yin Cathay Spotter, good day to you too, my friend. Good to see you. Hope all is well. And Marissa is informing us that Choc-y is about 35 minutes out and coming in from Newcastle today. Excellent. Right, quickly turning back for that Dreamliner 10 that is approaching from LAX. It is KLM, well, flight number it doesn't say, it says KLM 9865 on flight radar, but it's probably 604 or something. This Dreamliner 10 arriving from LAX, underway now for 9 hours and 44 minutes. The airplane itself is 4 years old and started flying in October 2019. Look at how extremely gentle the landing is. Russell photobombing the moment. Hey there, Björn. Greetings from the Netherlands. Thank you for the kind words. Alright, back to the north it is. We have KLM flight 1072 coming up next. A 737-800 arriving from Manchester. This particular airplane has been flying now for 50 minutes. Is 23 years old. Began in the beginning of the millennium in May 2000 with flying. Wow, that's a while back. May 2000. I was doing the final exams for high school back then, I think. Those are always in May, aren't they? I'm also picking up, or at least I was picking up, some predator bird sounds. Bird controller isn't far away. And good morning, that aviation dude. Paul, goedemorgen. Tuning in from Middelburg. Is it dry still in Zeeland? The predator bird sounds are coming from this yellow K4 vehicle, the Ford Raptor Ranger Raptor. Nico also tuning in from that part of the country. Awesome. now KLM flight 767, which of course isn't a Boeing 767 but an Airbus A330-300, arriving from Bonaire. Flight time 8 hours 48 minutes. 9-year-old airplane, first flight October 2014, and it must have enjoyed some of the local white stuff, judging its nose. Bonaire, of course, very close to Venezuela. Venezuela very close to Colombia and Ecuador and all those other countries. Yeah, it forgot to wipe its nose. Johan, goedemorgen, tuning in from South Africa. Welkom. And good morning Guy, who is tuning in from Luxembourg, back again. Good to see you, hope all is well. Is our next airplane. Next up is a KLM 737-900 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Flight 934. Flight time 1 hour and 7 minutes as we speak. The airplane 22 years old. First flight August 2001, and the Corendon wet lease A350 is behind it. Having a look visually, but I'm not seeing it yet, so let's follow this landing first, then get back to the A350 from Corendon on a wet lease, and arriving from Curaçao as well. So many airplanes. So many airplanes flying back and forth between Curaçao. It must be teeming with Dutchies if you see how many airplanes and how much capacity flies up and down. And Nico says that it has been raining already quite fiercely in the southwest part of the Netherlands for 1.5 hours now. Hopefully we're going to keep it dry until the A380 has landed. It is expected, I think, in an hour or so from now. If we have a little moment, we'll have another look, but we are in for heavies. Checking if I can show you already the next airplane, but not seeing it. Should be left and lower of it when it does become visible, but it doesn't yet. The banana from DHL, number 2. Now, first time we are going to see a wet-leased Corendon Airbus A350-900, flight 598, arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao, flight time 8 hours and 31 minutes. Brand new airplane, first flight May 2023. So it has the name of Corendon on the fuselage and the logo of the other company on the tail by the looks of it. Happy New Year. Now I am absolutely unsure of what year we're in. So much fireworks and New Year's wishes this stream already. Right, time to get your potassium levels in with banana. This is DHL Airbus A300-600. It is coming back to the Netherlands from Madrid, Spain, and has been flying from Madrid to Amsterdam now for 1 hour and 59 minutes. However, more interesting is that this airplane has been flying since October 1991, 32 years. 32 years, so I was around 9 when this airplane began flying. Amazing. Hey there, Nelson, good to see you again, my friend. I am doing well, thank you for asking. Hope the same goes for you. Alright, the PHBVD coming next. Morris, thank you for letting us know. It is the 777-300ER in the SkyTeam livery. Today arriving from Cape Town. And from this vantage point, particularly the 300s and the freighters make that beautiful whining sound when they pass you by. Listen closely, this is going to be good. KLM flight 598, flight time 11 hours and 20 minutes as we speak. The airplane 14 years old, first flight began in August of the year 2009. Right, A320 Iberia Express coming up next. Big picture, this is what it looks like. The sun, well, it's not fully shining, but it definitely is also not fully obscured. You can definitely see, looking south, darker skies are coming. Another quick look at the current status quo, shall we? So right now the Emirates A380 is about to enter German airspace, and a flight time, let me refresh it just for safety measure. Yeah, it is expected around 12:20, so that is in an hour from now. Runway usage, we already saw parallel arrivals taking place, and oh, now the wind, the only runway being used for departures is the Polderbaan, in fact. Quick look at the wind direction and speed, basically unchanged. Scattered clouds at 1600 feet, and let's have another look at the past hour. The rain is approaching, but it is still south of Rotterdam. So I think that actually is good news. I'm not sure if it is going to reach us then before the A380. Well, maybe not. It's going to be exciting, but I think we might be good actually. Iberia Express A320 arriving from Madrid. Flight 3722 touching down after 2 hours and 7 minutes. 21-year-old airplane, first flight June 2002. And Marissa is informing us that we got more heavies inbound. Banana arriving from London Heathrow, 4th for arrival. The Aero Mexico Dreamliner also coming this way. Is it the standard livery or the Quetzalcoatl? Probably standard. Oh, apologies, I was still zoomed in. I thought I had zoomed out. Don't want to get you. Ambulance. Going north. Also, birds. So the bird controller still has its work cut out for him. His, hers, them. Now also clearly photobombing this view. Alright, this is KLM flight 916 arriving from Southampton, Embraer 190, flight time 48 minutes. The airplane is 10 years old, had its first flight in October 2013. Hey there, Museum Sky team, good to see you. Hope all is well. Right. Embraer 190 arriving from Edinburgh. Coming up next, KLM flight 1278. The Banana is number 2 right now, arriving from London Heathrow. Which, if it does become visible, should appear left and lower left of the airplane we're now seeing. Yeah, in the center it has become visible. So we do have a glide slope shot, but unfortunately, visibility not the best today. Alrighty. Oh, that was a bit bouncy, it looked like. Alright, got two heavies coming in. The second banana up next. Arriving from London Heathrow, DHL Airbus A300-600. The one we saw earlier was from 1991. This one too from 1991. Another 32-year-old airplane. This one from August 1991. And its registration is the DAEAD. I'm dead now. Or DAEAD. Hey Gerrit, goedemorgen. Priscilla, good morning. Hi. Carlos, welcome to the show. Dreamliner from Aeromexico in the bottom left, behind it. The number 2. Another banana. This banana arriving from London Heathrow. Flight time 42 minutes, par for the course, but it's age 32. Began flying in August 1991. The other one was from May 1991, if I recall correctly. Right. No. Yes. Our next airplane is Aeromexico Flight 25. The daily flight from Mexico City back to Amsterdam. Flown on a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. This airplane has been flying now for 9 hours and 41 minutes. It's the standard livery, not the beautiful Quetzalcoatl, unfortunately. First flight of this airplane was in November 2017, making this airplane 5 years old. Mats also informing us that the triples from Rio and Sao Paulo are also coming in 20 and 45 minutes out, so we should see them before the A380 then, approximately. And Vasil, we are expecting the Emirates A380 around 12:20 p.m. So within the hour. Unfortunately, no 747s in today's stream. There are a couple underway, but the first one to arrive will arrive in the second half of the afternoon, 3:30 or so. Bird controller over there. And is the bird controller out of his vehicle? Yeah. Why, yes, he is. Don't tell me I'm filming him taking a piss again. Last time. What was it, in spring or something? Saw the bird controller out of his vehicle only to go to the loo. Oh, look at that. 2 airplanes already visible, and they're not the biggest, so for the time being a little bit of better view to the north. Hey, Paul, Mr. Biker, good morning. Good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well. This is an Embraer 175 arriving from Frankfurt. Behind it is an E2 Embraer 195. First drops of rain in Rotterdam, Han is reporting. As long as the A380 doesn't get delayed, I think we should probably be okay. Doing quite well, Paul, thank you for asking. See that the chat is calling me back to the laptop. You guys, at it again. Oh man. Well, thank you so much, Tiger, for once again gifting 5 memberships. I think you have done more than enough for today, and the same goes for Jerry. Thank you so much. Another 5 new AMS Live members of the Aurora Sky Lounge. Don't forget to say thank you to Tiger if you got gifted a membership by Tiger. And also, once again, a very big thank you to Mr. Johnny himself. Jerry, thank you so much for gifting another 10 new memberships. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those members. E2 Embraer whistle. E2 Embraer 195 KLM flight 1904 arriving from Hanover. So don't forget to say a big thank you to Jerry if you just got gifted one of the 10 memberships that he just donated. Jerry, thank you once again. Above and beyond, above and beyond. And it does feel like New Year's Eve here today. So many firecrackers being set off, which I find remarkable, because if you look around, each time we're looking with the camera in this direction, the area seems to be totally devoid of birds. So, and you can argue, yes, but that is because the bird controller is doing their job. Bird controllers are doing their job, but really is hard to see where those birds are that they are trying to chase away. Right, back to another Embraer 175 arriving from Aalborg. Now, thank you so much, Nico, for your super chat. Very much appreciated. Nico tuning in from the south of the country, where it was raining, but I understand it is now slowly starting to get dry again. So there you go. Welcome to the Netherlands, where the weather is constantly changing, and that is the only constant here. Also, totally forgot, if you are new to the channel but you're liking what you're seeing and you haven't done so already, don't forget to like the stream and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to get notified whenever I go live. It's the only way you make sure you're not missing out on any upcoming live streams. Turn on notifications. Now, bird controller over here. It's the Ford Ranger Raptor. Going back to barehanded camera operation, I do got a little seasick every now and then looking at my own footage. It's good to keep the hands toasty, but it is not good for accuracy with following. I think accuracy is more important than warm hands, although the accuracy also gets less when the hands get a bit colder, but we should be good. Two Embraer 190s coming up next. The first one arriving from Gothenburg, the second one coming in from Newcastle. And number 2 is actually Choc-y. Oh man, just 1 week and 1 day of dieting left for me. Then I can also eat some chocolates or kruidnoten. So this KLM Embraer 190 is flight 1154, arriving from Gothenburg. Flight time 1 hour and 15 minutes. A 14-year-old airplane that had its first flight in July of the year 2009. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, members, now it is time to reach out for that box of chocolates. Life is like a box of chocolates, it was said in that one movie by that one guy, but here is another box coming in. Choc-y, or the German Airways Lycée for Chocolaterie Special Livery Embraer 190 flying for KLM. Got another airplane behind it. We have a glide slope shot actually. Rick is wondering where Choc-y is. Well, he's hiding in your closet, mate. Or under your bed. Better approach with caution. Today this Embraer 190 is arriving back from Newcastle. Flight time an hour precisely. 15 years old, first flight January 2008, exactly the same month and year that the PHPVA KLM Orange Pride also began flying. Chocolate. Now if you just tuned in, you're not going to see any substantial crabbing today. The wind is mostly from the south. These pilots are landing from the south to the from the north to the south. So it is mostly headwind. Oh, for a moment I thought, is that an alligator or something? But it is a block of wood that is actually floating here in the water. I was wondering. That would have been something for the wildlife department of AMS Live, wouldn't it? Transavia 737-800 arriving from Nice. Nice. Mark says that Davey wants to know how long I have been doing this for. Well, actually, I think on the 26th of this month, it will mark the 1-year anniversary of my first public live stream. So, with a bit of luck, we'll have reached 10k subscribers before the first live stream, the first public live stream I made a year ago, celebrates its first birthday. Indeed, James. Gator warning. Indeed, Han. Those lovely kerosene fumes are catching up with me. A320 Air Arabia, operated by Air Arabia Maroc, arriving from Tangier. Yeah, I thought maybe operating the camera barehanded would be better, but it doesn't seem to be the case. There we go. Particularly if everything is getting very chilled very quickly. Iceland Air, Max 8. Yesterday we saw 2 back-to-back. Not today, but I'm not sure if another Max isn't underway. I wouldn't be surprised. For some reason they have been sending 2 airplanes to Amsterdam back to back quite regularly lately. Why not use one of your 767s if you still have them lying around? chuck them full with people and just have one flight? Wouldn't that be more economical than flying two MAX 8s? Yeah, the MAX 8 is more fuel efficient, but is it more fuel efficient than... Are two more fuel efficient than one 767? Anyway, Iceland Air flight 506, MAX 8 arriving from Reykjavik. Hey there, Grace Kelly, good morning. Good to see you again, hope all is well. Got two Embraers up next, an Embraer 175 arriving from Luxembourg and an Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Both visible. The glide slope over here runs differently from top right to bottom left and not from bottom left to top right. Same runway, different location, and the glide slope all of a sudden looks quite different. Now this is KLM flight 1740 arriving from Luxembourg, flight time 47 minutes. That's a few minutes longer than your average flight from London to Amsterdam. Hey Amelie, good morning. Tom, goedemorgen. KLM flight 988 up next, Embraer 190 arriving from London City, where it departed 39 minutes ago. Also picking up a departing airplane, but I'm not able to see it. It is already above the clouds. Clouds are interfering with visibility, unfortunately, today. The airplane you are now looking at is 9 years old, had its first flight in December of the year 2013. KLM flight 988, Embraer 190, arriving from London City. And a nice departure from a seemingly nearly all-white airplane from Choc-y. Hey there, Sarah Jo. Doing well, thank you for asking. I hope the same goes for you. Next up, KLM flight 706 arriving from Rio de Janeiro. It is a 777-200 ER. Has been flying now for 10 hours and 41 minutes to get here from Rio. The airplane is 16 years old already. First flight was in January 2007. Still quite shaky footage despite the image stabilizer enabled, so let's just fixate the tripod. Yeah, that's better. Hey there, Freddy Dutch, good morning. Gentle. Now, is that bird controller still setting off fireworks? Oh, what is that? Is that a 747? Oh. Does look like a 747, doesn't it? Right, so bird controller over there, but also a bird controller over here. It's teeming with bird controllers here today, which is probably why we haven't seen so many birds over here. Chat window acting up, should be good again. KLM flight 7, KLM 737-800, flight 1724, short flight arriving from Brussels, 27 minutes of flight time. The airplane 23 years old, had its first flight in August 2000. And there's the second MAX from Iceland Air. Up next, flight 500, another MAX 8. Nice audio on the reversers. Right, yet another Iceland Air Boeing 737 MAX 8 approaching flight 500. The flight from Reykjavik to where it is right now has taken 2 hours and 41 minutes. A 5-year-old airplane that had its first flight in August of the year 2018. The Aphrodite. Hey there, Sponge. Mr. Jackson, Michael, good afternoon to you too. Well, I say afternoon, but it is still 4 minutes to 12 over here, so I should say good morning. Plus, it is also early morning still over on the other side of the pond. Alrighty, now let's have a look. Embraer 175 arriving from Bremen will be next, but after that is a 777-200 arriving from Boston. Boston? Yeah, okay. Funny you don't see that very often. Or my memory is also being affected by the kerosene fumes. First up, Embraer 175, KLM flight 1754 arriving from Bremen. Short flight, 35 minutes. 5-year-old airplane that had its first flight in January of the year 2018. Thank you for the update, Han, who is informing us that the A380 currently is in the vicinity of the German-Dutch border and Enschede. Alrighty. Triple 200 KLM flight 618 arriving from Boston, Massachusetts, and apparently with a few hours of delay according to Marissa, which is probably why I'm not used to seeing this flight at this time of day in the stream, but that's okay. Triples are always welcome. Flight time 5 hours 56 minutes, nearly 6 hours to get here. A 19-year-old airplane that had its first flight in December 2003. Alright, bird controller putting on the flashlights and following the airplane. Is that the prelude of a little runway inspection? Could be. So is the airplane arriving from Newcastle going to go to this runway or to center? Nice comparison in size, the small tiny bird control vehicle and that big ass airplane. Holy Helsinki. And I see your messages in the chat confirming that the A380 is actually going to come to this runway, which is terrific. We're right at the threshold, so up close and personal, we're going to see it and hear it. Right, well, doesn't look like an extensive runway inspection of the sorts. I do already see the lights of the next airplane coming this way. Embraer 175 arriving from Newcastle. Transavia 737 arriving from Barcelona behind it. I'm already pinching out a little bit. A380 has already passed Almelo. ETA 12:23, so that's in 20 minutes from now. Really curious to see if it is actually the Journey to the Future livery or if the picture is outdated. For now, we'll make do with what we can see, and that is KLM flight 962. Embraer 175 arriving from Newcastle. Flight time 55 minutes. The airplane 6 years old. First flight June 2017. Mate! What the Helsinki? What the Helsinki did I tell you? Man, you've done more than enough. Jerry, thank you so much for gifting yet another 5 memberships, and thank you all for liking the stream so much. 600 of you have already liked the stream. Don't forget to say thank you to Jerry if you just got gifted a membership by him. A very big thank you, Jerry, once again. A warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new members. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe and like if you want to stay informed about when I'm going live in the future. The only way to get notified is turning on notifications when you have subscribed. Next up, the Embraer 175 arriving from Newcastle. In its wake, a 737-800 from Transavia coming in from Barcelona, where it is undoubtedly less windy, more warm, more sunny than it is over here in the Netherlands. Or at least that's what I'm hoping, or assuming I should say. Alright, our next airplane, Transavia 737-800 arriving from Barcelona. Flight 51:32, flight time 1 hour and 50 minutes. 5-year-old airplane, first flight April 2018. Embraer E2 Embraer 195 behind it. Another Embraer 190 behind it. You can also see on flight radar that the 777-200 from Sao Paulo is approaching steadily. more driftwood passing by over here in the water. This bit of trunk is even more sizable than the one we saw earlier. This is, I think, 2 meters, 6 to 7 feet. Kieran remnants maybe, I don't know. Anyway, oh, I'm zoomed out too far. That's the wrong airplane. This is the right airplane. E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Hamburg, coming in next, KLM flight 1780. Flight time between Hamburg and Amsterdam thus far 41 minutes. The airplane is 2 years old. First flight January 2021. And TV Lowboy, is that is that how you pronounce your name? Says that the journey to the future is still according to the image on jet photos. Well, the pictures you see on Flight Radar and jet photos are not always very up to date. We have seen it before that a special livery was announced, and the picture also showed a special livery, and in actuality a standard livery came. But I hope you're right, of course, as probably we all do. I think it is months since I last have seen the Journey to the Future A380 up close. Right. You guys are always raving about how beautiful the Embraer 190s are and that you don't get to see them very often. Well, today is your lucky day. Especially for you, we have this new addition from British Airways, arriving from London City no less, the bustling heart of business in London. Well, I say new, but it is 11 years old already. First flight was in July 2012. But it is another Embraer 190. The favorite airplane type of many of you. Speedbird flight 8489. Flight time 40 minutes. More Embraers lining up north of us. However, number 3 is going to be a 777-200 arriving from Sao Paulo. After this airplane, we're going to see an Embraer 175 from KLM and then the triple. Just checking. Unfortunately, separation a bit too big. Not seeing it, the number 2 visually either, for what it's worth. Beautiful landing, gentle touchdown. Well, Alfredito, the wind is better than a couple of days ago. Although yesterday we did have similar wind and it didn't feel as chilly for some reason. think that the air temperature is a bit lower than it was yesterday. Maybe also having the rain cover on the camera gave some shelter to my hands yesterday, but that's okay. The gloves are also working, but the wind is interfering with following the airplane smoothly. Now, Embraer 175 arriving from Humberside is the first airplane. Oh JD, the A380 is indeed coming to this runway, so you came back just in time. We are going to see it land over here. Now obviously the 777 also coming, being preceded by the Embraer 175 from Humberside, arriving from Humberside. Sandwiched the triple between Embraer 175s because after it is another Embraer 175 from Lot arriving from Warsaw. Hey, where did that triple go to? Lovely glide slope shot. Glide slope shot, glide slope shot, glide slope shot. Shots fired indeed, Frank. It has been going on all morning. Right, well, one of my gloves gave out the batteries, although it is the second time I charged them, and I did read in the manual that it also takes a few recharges before they reach full capacity, so I do believe we managed to hold out longer than the first time using them, so that is good. KLM 777-200 up next, arriving from Sao Paulo. This is a 777-200ER that is 16 years old. First flight April 2007. Flight time 10 hours and 46 minutes. KLM flight 792. Alright, one of the weather apps is warning me that in 25 minutes it is going to start raining. Well, judging the clouds that are now on the horizon, I certainly believe that. Gotta love the Dutch clouds over here. It is always spectacular. But that sure looks like precipitation in the making. But that's okay. We can wrap up once the King has landed. The Journey to the Future livery. Very much looking forward to seeing it. Hope that it is actually still that livery. It is actually turning onto the glide slope further north, Should be number 4. Hey, no, it's going to center. It's going to center. What the Finland? What the Helsinki is going on? I thought you guys said it was assigned to right. Man. What the fudge? Museum has to go. That is unfortunate timing. The Emirates A380 is coming in a few minutes, but if you have to go, then you have to go. The Dubai folk, they took the wrong turn. They took the wrong turn. They have to go around, go back to this runway. Now if you're thinking, hey, those are predator birds that I'm hearing. First of all, congratulations, you have keen hearing. And second of all, that would be the bird controller returning to give us some nice sounds. Now, before going back with operating the camera, small detour to the laptop. And JD, thank you once again for another 5 gifted memberships. Again, above and beyond, I think you guys have done more than enough gifting memberships already today. Thank you so much, JD. Don't forget to say thank you if you just got gifted a membership by JD. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, all new members. You now have at your disposal all the custom emoji, including the Emirates logo, the updated ribbon tail, which you might be able to use shortly. Well, we're going to see the A380 land on the wrong runway. Pilot error, wrong turn. They went for center. Force of habit, but they did take the wrong turn, at least in my book. Now, I do see it already. And given the expectation of rain coming soon, it is also going to be the last airplane for today. The Emirates A380 going to the wrong runway. The Journey to the Future livery. It does look like it. It is actually the Journey to the Future livery. Still not seeing it up close, but at least decent enough that we can make out it is the Journey to the Future livery. Currently number 9 worldwide, most tracked on-flight radar by 560 people. Emirates Flight 147, the daily flight between Dubai and Amsterdam. And it has had headwind underway because the current flight time 6 hours and 48 minutes. Normally speaking, it would be around 6.5 hours, 6 hours and 35 minutes or so. So they did encounter some headwind underway over here. 6 hours and 48 minutes. The airplane is 7 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in June 2016. Boo, lame, you guys took the wrong turn. Just go around, try again. Oh, and I'm looking to the south, the clouds look interesting. I will show you in a minute. Also got an Irish A320 coming in. Maybe, just maybe, we get to see a glimpse of the A380 over there. I still hear the reversers. Yes, there it is. Now, that has been the last airplane for today's show, because as I was saying, rain is upon us over here. It's not going to stay dry for too long. This is what is coming, and I damn well intend to get in the car before it is starting to get really wet. Now, JD, thank you so much for gifting another membership. Very much appreciated. Maurits, congratulations. Don't forget to say thank you to JD. Folks, thank you all so much for joining me here today. It has been another blast for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. We're going for the 10K subscribers soon, so let's have a look and see where we are with that right now. The race to the 10K is getting there slowly but surely. Now at 9,819 subscribers, so thank you 20. Thank you all so much for that. Pretty soon we might have to get a little picture so that we can see hopefully the 10,000th subscriber live during one of the streams. For now, I am going to say a big thank you to you all for joining me here today. A big thank you to all the people who were so kind to donate super chats or super stickers or memberships or become a member themselves. I am going to say thank you to you all. We'll see you again soon. Thanks to all the moderators for keeping the chat another day a friendly place. I hope I can go out tomorrow. Not sure though. We'll have to see. For now, I'm going to say a big thank you to you all. Be safe, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all again soon. For now, bye bye.